guys, it's me, Kelly. So this week I want to talk to you guys about how to transfer plants from a littler pot like this to a bigger pot like this. Most people wouldn't really say that you need to transfer a plant from a smaller pot to a bigger pot, but it's always important to do that because you want your plants to be able to have better root systems and to be able to grow higher up. If your plants stay in a pot this small right here, your roots will just curl up into a little circle, and eventually they're going to have root rot, which means that the plant's going to die off because your roots are not receiving as much nutrients as it wants. So in order to do that, you need to have different things in order to start. So of course you got to have bigger pots. You got to have soil. If you don't have soil, then your plants aren't going to receive their nutrients, nor are they going to be able to grow, because the soil is what holds your water. You also got to have your flowers, and I have 3 different varieties of pansies today. I have a yellow flower, the white flower, and some people either say that this is blue or purple. And a pansy is known as a winter annual. It only grows during the winter time, so it can withstand any type of cold weather. It don't matter if it's frost, it'll still be able to withstand it, but it only grows in the winter and dies off during the spring. And then you got to have fertilizer. So let's get to it. If you want to, whenever you start to move your flowers from a smaller pot to a bigger pot, you got to fill your pots up with soil. So I'm going to fill up these 3 pots with soil, but I'm not going to fill it all the way up to the line because I want to be able to have enough room to transfer each flower into the pot and then put more soil on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my first one, and I'm going to make sure I have enough room in my pot. As you can see, I don't have the soil all the way filled up in my pot because I want to make sure that I have enough room. So now I'm going to add more soil around it because I want to make sure that the whole flower has enough soil to hold the base of it. So I just added in more soil to the flower, and it's just a little wobbly. So in that case, I'm just going to add a little bit more soil. So I've added in more soil, and now the plant is a lot more sturdy. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the second pot. You always want to make sure that your flower is stable because you don't want the wind to come by and blow it over, and then all of a sudden your flower is dead. So always have enough soil to surround the base of it. Next, I'm going to do my second pot. I'm going to make sure that instead of this time, I'm going to hold my flower up so I can make sure that I get enough soil around the base of it. So I'm going to add in some more soil. It's a lot easier to do this without a shovel. So if you just use your hands, you can grab a lot more dirt in your hands than you can in a shovel, and you can pack it down like you want it. So there, I have more soil, and this plant is a lot more sturdier. As you can see, it's standing more straight up. And then for my third one, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Got to add more soil into the pot, so I'm going to break up some soil. Usually I water the soil before I plant the pot, but this soil right here has a lot of moisture in it, so there's no need to water it before you plant it. So after I plant, I'm going to water it so I can make sure that the soil has enough water to make it more saturated. So I'm planting my third pot, and of course I got to add more soil to it. So I'm adding in a little bit more soil. And then I'm packing it down around it, and this pot is also just as sturdy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to water each pot. But I'm not going to put a lot of water in. I'm just going to kind of go across the front of them and around the back. Once I've watered them, the next thing I have to do is I have to add in fertilizer. So I'm going to take a little bit of fertilizer. I'm going to sprinkle around the base of it because the fertilizer is what helps it grow. You don't have to always do this, but you always want to make sure that your plant has enough fertilizer. And then, there you are. You're done transferring your flowers from a smaller pot to a bigger pot. And you need to make sure that you water these flowers every other day. You don't have to fertilize them every day. You might want to do that at least once a week. And there you go. You have beautiful pansies that you can sit around in your yard. So, this is an instructional video on how to transfer a flower from a smaller pot to a bigger pot.